You know what? Maybe some people just don't deserve any forgiveness, but maybe it's not about them. Let's talk about how to forgive your ex and move on. Is this even possible? Forgiving someone who's hurt you as much as they have? You know what? Right up front, just consider the alternative, because this is a legitimate option. All right? Instead of forgiving your ex and moving on, what if you didn't? What if you held on to the grievance, that nasty, festering, boiling sense of having been mistreated, and you just hang on to that and let it fester and boil inside of you until it just erupts into all kinds of heinous and evil things that you're perfectly capable of doing? What if you just hang on to it? How does that sound? I know, but since it's a legitimate option, let's go there first. 4 steps today for hanging on to it, for not letting it go, for letting it just boil up inside of you. Here's what you do. Number 1, get hurt. Oh, check, done. Already there. Yeah, that one's not hard, but it's important. You have to get hurt. Step number 2, over-personalize the offense. I want you to notice here that every offense has both a personal and an impersonal component to it. You got both parts. You might consider, for example, thinking, how is this about me? Well, it kind of is about you because it is you. It happened to you, right? How is it not about you? You know what? I have to share something about one of my clients recently who went through kind of a nasty breakup and divorce. In the context of this breakup, she discovered for the first time that when she got to know her husband years earlier, he was already married to someone else, but she didn't know that. Now, can you see how going through this breakup is about her? Because it is her. It's her life. It's her little baby she has to take care of all on her own now. Can you see how this is not about her? Because her ex is not only doing this to her, but he's done it to someone in the past too. Oh, so maybe it's not all about her. But to form a really great grievance, you have to over-personalize the offense. You take it as personally as you possibly can. It's all about you, and it's all about this evil person who wanted to and intended to and succeeded in hurting you. Yeah. You with me? Nice. Let's go to step number 3. You blame. You blame someone else, and you know who to blame too, for how you feel. It's not my fault. And then you make sure that you hang it all on your ex. They're the ones who are responsible for your misery. You have to blame them, and blame them loudly too. Which leads to step number 4. Create and tell a victim story. Publicize it far and wide about how you are a pitiful victim. This is not your fault. It's that evil, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad villain in this story who's to blame for everything. The victim story is all about you being a pitiful victim, and that big, nasty, evil villain is responsible for all of your misery. And share that story far and wide. Post it on social media. Make YouTube videos about it. You just go out there and share it everywhere you can. It'll start to take on a life of its own too, which is kind of cool because then it drives itself. How we doing? Are you enjoying this grievance? Well, you know how to keep one if that's your choice. Now let's look at the contrast, okay? Because the video is all about how do I forgive my ex and move on. I just think you need to know how to not forgive and hang on to it and don't move on and stay stuck. So we've been clear about that. Let's get clear about how to forgive and move on. Step number 1, activate your brain. Now, your brain is always active, okay? But different parts of your brain do different things. And there's a different part of your brain, it's located down near the brain stem in the limbic system area, that's in charge of the fight or flight response. This is your natural reaction to a perceived threat, and you're designed to respond chemically with a fight or flight response. That's not the part of your brain we want to activate. That one's already fired up. We want to activate this part right behind your forehead, your prefrontal cortex, this area of your brain that is responsible for logic, problem solving, rational thought, and also some cool things like empathy and compassion and respect. All right, that's driven by these higher cortical areas. That's the part we want to activate. Sometimes we got to get the limbic system, the fight or flight response in our brain, to chillax a little bit, to calm down so that we can redirect the blood flow back up front to do all of those cool things that the prefrontal part of your brain handles. What I would recommend is breathe. Just breathe. Take some slow, measured, deep breaths in through the nose. Hold briefly. Feel the stretch out through the mouth, nice and slow. Doing that has a physiological effect that it helps you to just chill a little bit. Sometimes exercise or yoga or listening to some soothing music. These are all things that can help us to, step 1, activate our brain. The part of our brain that's going to help us to solve the problem, not the part that has us fighting or running away. That one just causes more problems. Step number 2, reframe this whole thing in a way that allows you to take it less personally. You might need a little bit of help with this, which is one reason why I and other coaches get enrolled to talk this through, because when you're looking at it inside of your own head and from inside of your own skin, it's hard to see a different perspective sometimes. What if you could see a perspective that helps you to take it less personally? Remember, only part of this is about you. It is you, and that's why it's easy to take it personally, but it's not about you. So often it's about the choices of other people. It's about circumstances or history that are completely outside of your control. Remembering that helps you to do step 2, to take it less personally. Step number 3, take full responsibility for how you feel. I'm not saying you take full responsibility or blame for what happened. That's not what I'm talking about. For how you feel. You're never wrong about how you feel. How you feel is 100% consistent with the way your mind is processing your experiences. Look through some of the other videos on this channel and you can get other tips about that. Take responsibility for how you feel. I remember running a group with a bunch of teenagers once, and one of the common things that I heard, I'm bored. Okay. So we took that on in this group, and we decided that anytime anybody said, I'm bored, they just needed to follow it up with, and I take full responsibility for that. This is what I'm talking about now. Take full responsibility for how you feel, which puts the power right back in your hands. This is good news. Then you're not at the mercy of someone that you think is responsible for how you feel. How soon is the ex going to change it for you anyway? Honestly. Take full responsibility for how you feel. Number 4, create and tell a new story, a hero story. In this version of the story, you get to be the star. Not your ex, not the villain, no, the hero. You get to be the star of this one. I still remember a client I worked with years ago who was severely mistreated by her ex. This guy was way out of line. And I won't even share all the details with you, but you've got a great imagination. After about 4 months of working with her here at the office, she came in and she started to tell again the victim story about how she, the poor little victim, was abused by the big angry villain. And I stopped her. I said, hold on, pause. How many hours have we met? She's like, I think we've only been here about 20 minutes. No, I mean over the last 4 months. How many hours have we met? And it was probably 25 to 30 hours that she and I had spent together. I said, how many of these hours have been about him? Oh, I think we've talked about him every time. I said, yeah, I think so too. Who's paying for these sessions? Me. Yeah, why are you paying for the sessions and they're all about him? Something clicked in her mind as she started to realize, you know what? He doesn't get to have my sessions anymore. This is about me. We even did a little thought experiment where I said, picture yourself driving up to the theater. You know, it's the grand premiere, it's the opening night, and you look up at the marquee, and it says, Sarah's Life, starring John. Ooh, she didn't like that. Who should this be starring? When you create a hero story, it is about you. And notice this too, this is true in Hollywood. All of the videos that have a villain, why is the villain there? The only purpose for the villain is to illuminate the hero. And the bigger the villain, the bigger the hero. That's how we can tell that it's a hero. So sure, you got a villain in your story, but let's not let them have the marquee. Let's put them in the credits somewhere. You know, at the end of the movie that you have to stay longer to see. That's where they fit. Put them in the credits. You get to be the headliner. Create a new story. I am so honored to be part of your personal development team. Let's draw some other people into our circle. Click on the share buttons down below.